Since 2002, the World Happiness Report has used statistical analysis to determine the world's happiest countries. To determine the world's happiest country, researchers analyzed comprehensive Gallup polling data from 149 countries for the past 3 years, specifically monitoring performance in 6 particular categories: gross domestic product per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom to make your own life choices, generosity of the general population, and perceptions of internal and external corruption levels. Finland ranks as the world's happiest country based on the latest report, with a score of 7.842 out of a total possible score of 10. The report writers credited the citizens of Finland's strong feelings of communal support and mutual trust with not only helping secure the one ranking, but helping the country as a whole now. Additionally, Finlanders felt strongly that they were free to make their own choices and showed minimal suspicion of government corruption. Both of these factors are strong contributors to overall happiness. The second happiest country in the world is Denmark, which scores 7.620. Denmark's values for each of the 6 variables are quite comparable to those of Finland. In fact, Denmark even outscored the leader in multiple categories, including GDP per capita, generosity, and perceived lack of corruption, demonstrating that it may claim the top spot. Iceland ranks as third happiest country in the entire world. Of the top 7 happiest countries around the globe, Iceland has the highest feeling of social support, higher even than Finland, Norway, and Denmark, which all tied for second place. Iceland also had the second highest generosity score in the top 7, though it's worth noting that it ranked only 11th. As the 4th happiest country in the world, Switzerland always occupies its place in the top list. In general, the Swiss are very healthy, with one of the world's lowest obesity rates and a long life expectancy. The Swiss also have a very high median salary, about 75% higher than that of the United States, and the highest GDP per capita in the top 7. Additionally, there is a strong sense of community in Switzerland and a firm belief that it is a safe and clean country, which is statistically true. Along with Iceland and Denmark, Switzerland is one of the world's safest countries. The Netherlands saw its position dip slightly in 2020, but since 2021, the country has been able to reclaim and hang on to its 5th place position. This year sees the country achieve a score of 7.415 out of 10. Interestingly, researchers found that 97.6% of respondents from the Netherlands felt at peace with their life, while 86.9% felt the various aspects of. Luxembourg ranks 6th in the happiest countries index with a score of 7.404 out of 10. Luxembourg ranks 1st in the world in terms of GDP per capita, which is the individual factor with the strongest influence on the country's place among the 10 happiest countries in the world, and the country also ranks 10th for the freedom that inhabitants feel they have. Sweden had the highest number of COVID-related deaths among all the Nordic countries, which may account for its drop from the 6th to the 7th spot this year. Still, it remains one of the happiest countries in the world thanks in large part to a high GDP per capita, an emphasis on social equality that is built into the education system starting in kindergarten, 16 months of paid family leave that can be split between a couple after a new child. Basically, an emphasis on work-life balance leads to a happier populace. 8th happiest countries is Norway. There's not too much to complain about in Norway. The mix of a well-integrated government welfare system and a thriving economy built on responsible management of its natural resources. Good riddance, fossil fuel-powered cars means that very few are left behind, and the feelings of social support. After placing 12th last year, Israel has finally broken into the top 10 in 2023. The country's response to the pandemic instilled a lot more government trust among citizens, as it was one of the first nations to successfully vaccinate a large percentage of its population. Israel also happens to be one of the healthiest countries in the world, with the lowest number of diet-related deaths. 10th happiest country is New Zealand. New Zealand has had one of the lowest rates of COVID-related deaths during the pandemic, cementing its spot in the top 10. Even without that timestamp, Kiwis are a famously happy and friendly bunch, which stems from satisfaction in both the workplace and social spheres. Having a prime minister who prioritizes emotional and mental growth certainly doesn't hurt, either. In 2019, Jacinda Ardern introduced a well-being budget, which allocated billions of dollars towards initiatives like bolstering mental health, reducing child poverty, and supporting